We're just 1 week away from the start of the Women's Euros over in Switzerland, and talkSPORT, as always, has got you covered.
And the European Championships get underway. Right-footed drive, hits the post, comes off the goalkeeper, and in! Spectacular hit from Diani.
Cuts back onto her right foot and finds the net! Vivian Miedema!
An opportunity's around the goalkeeper, and it's in from Bob Marty.
Hooks up the cross, and the header is in from Harder.
Into the penalty area, Gonzalez with the shot, past the goalkeeper and in. A lovely move by Spain.
His ball has fallen for Hagerberg in the penalty area, plays it square, Frida Marden taps it in. 2 goals in quick succession for Norway.
And Eva Pyle there to gleefully tap home from inside the 6-yard box. Rising Canarid from the angle with the shot, and it flashes into the back of the net.
Opportunity for Russo inside the penalty area, finds the corner! Alessia Russo for England!
Yes, the Lionesses will be looking to retain their crown after lifting the trophy memorably back in 2022. talkSPORT bringing you all the action from the England and Wales games, plus the opening match, both semi-finals and the final. Our team will include Adrian Durham, massive advocate of women's football, big fan of the Lionesses, Joe Shannon, Courtney Sweetman Kirk will also be joined by Jordan Nobbs, Leanne Sanderson, Rhiannon Skinner, and joining us now, former England and Liverpool striker, Natasha Dowie. Good afternoon, Tasha.
Good afternoon, guys. How are we?
Yeah, I think we're all very much looking forward to it. Only a week away now. How are you feeling about, let's start with the Lionesses' chances, because it has been not the greatest build-up, really, with some of those high-profile sort of injuries and retirements.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. There's some massive characters missing, especially Millie Bright, in my opinion. I think she's a huge leader, a captain. I think probably out of all of the ones missing, she will be the key player. But I also think when you look at the players coming back in, players finding form, Lauren James back involved, England will be there or thereabouts. Probably going into this tournament, Spain are favourites, but then when you're talking about who's going to be competing with Spain, England is definitely the nation.
Expectations are much higher now, though, aren't they? Do you think that may play into it?
Yeah, but I think, you know what, I think that's the great thing. When I played for England, probably you're talking 7-8 years ago now, we would enter tournaments, but you would never be talking about us reaching finals. This England team now have reached, I think, 3 major finals back to back. They're holders of the European Championships. They made the World Cup last year, narrowly losing. So this is a team now that every tournament they enter, they're expected to win, or they're there or thereabouts, going to be in the knockout stages. So I think this group of girls playing at club level, winning Champions Leagues. Some of these players have won the treble at Chelsea. They're used to these high pressure games, tournaments. So for them, they're not going to be phased. This is just another tournament. And if anything, I think a lot of the speculation, I think a lot of the talk off the pitch will make them even hungrier to kind of try and prove people wrong.
We've had a bit of focus on Lauren James because she's not played since April, and there's a bit of taking a bit of a punt. But Sophie Ingalls made the Wales squad, and she didn't play at all last season for Chelsea. She's had an ACL, but it looks like she's kind of got back to fitness. I mean, she's an important player for Wales, isn't she? Yeah,
she's massive. She's such a key player, and it's harder, and with no disrespect to Wales, probably they don't have as big a pool of players to pick from as England do. So I think when you're looking at the squad of players that Rhiannon Skinner had to pick from, I think with regards to Ingle, I think she's one that you had to take because of her experience, her leadership in and around the team. And I think, if they can progress, she is someone that has so much experience. She can see out a game, that kind of holding mid-role. They've missed her massively. So I think they've taken her more for being in and around the group, and then hopefully they can get her the minutes she needs, to obviously progress later on in the tournament.
Who do you think are the main rivals for England and Wales? It's Spain, obviously, but anybody else to really keep an eye on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at the likes of your Germany are going to be there or thereabouts. I think Sweden are a team that are always in the knockout groups. They've got some really strong players. France, for me as well, are one of those nations that when you look at them individually, they have such a strong squad, and they've actually left out some really key players, the likes of Wendy Renard, Les Sommer. I think for me, they're some of the biggest names in women's football that the managers decided to leave out. So whether or not that goes in favour for them or not, we talked about our group being the group of death. So really, whoever progresses out of that, I think, has a real good chance. And I think when you look at the groups as well, I think Group A is quite an even group. Spain will dominate Group B, in my opinion. And I think when you look at Group C, I think Germany and Sweden will progress. And then it's a case of France, us or the Netherlands, who's going to be the big team to miss out there.
Who are the kind of emerging nations? We know that the Swedish have always been good and Germany have been good. I mean, let's not looking at some other teams like sort of Finland and Denmark or whatever. What can we expect from them?
Yeah, no, I would say keep a lookout absolutely for Italy, for the likes of Italy. I played in Italy for AC Milan, and I think it's a country that is absolutely progressing. I think the kind of Romas, the AC Milans, Juventus have been teams that have really progressed in Champions League football as well, which I think has helped the Italian league. And also for me, Portugal. I think they are a nation that, again, Benfica is a really strong women's team in the Portuguese league who have done well in Champions League also. I think they're a nation as well that could cause some upsets.
The Opta supercomputer's been looking at it. Apparently, Spain have got a 25% chance of winning it. They're favourites. England have got 17% chance, and Wales have got 0 chance.
Thanks very much.
So that's one for Rhian Wilkinson to pin on the dressing room wall, I would think.
I just wonder that Arsenal beating Barcelona in the Champions League final, whether that will give England a bit more confidence.
It absolutely will. It will. And I think with confidence, with winning, breeds that. And just going back to Wales as well with Rhian Wilkinson, I've been so impressed with her since she's come in. My partner's a scout for the Wales national team. So I've kind of had a bit more of an insight of what's been going on behind the scenes there. And I love the way that she speaks. I think she's actually got a degree in communication. And the way that she talks, she has this belief within this squad. And she says, no one fancies them. But tell you what, within the camp, that is a different story. They have full belief. And I think when I talk to the likes of Ian Rush at Liverpool, I think what stands out for me with the Wales national team is the togetherness, you know, that kind of underdog mentality. So without being disrespectful, I talked about England, the Netherlands and France. I think everyone would love to see, you know, a kind of underdog factor in Wales to somehow cause an upset there. And they have got the players. Jess Fishlock, she's someone that I'm so glad has made a senior majors tournament. She's a player that I've played against for many years. And for me, we talk about this world-class player and it's used too often. But Jess Fishlock is world-class and she deserves to have this moment.
You find home internationals in tournaments, we saw it when the men played Wales, you know, it's a tough game, isn't it? Because everybody raises their game. There's always a little bit of edge because often the players know each other. So it doesn't kind of help either nation, really, when you've got a bit of a sort of domestic dust-up going on.
No, and I love it as well. I think I've seen things on social media already. I think there might have been an incident in a supermarket store in Wales where they were promoting Lucozade drinks for the England women's team. And I think there was a massive bust-up and basically they were saying, why is this being promoted in a supermarket in Wales? So I think straight away that just shows this kind of competitiveness and this edge that's going to happen. And this is my first major tournament as well, you know, obviously not playing, but being a commentator. So for me as well, having my debut tournament, I just cannot wait to be able to be there live and to watch these matchups.
Excellent. Okay, Tasha, we'll chat to you during the tournament. Good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.